Do USB cables make a difference? Well, this comes from Gus in San Jose, California. And Gus, you get the Snake Award today. And I give out the Snake Award when we get into a tough subject that is going to cause cries of, snake oil, and chickens clucking and going on, and yeah, right. But I do appreciate these questions, and you know what? I just had my 70th birthday, and I don't really give a rat's ass. I'm going to give you the straight scoop as best I know it, and you can do what you want with it. And the snake oil guys can jump up and down and call us audio fools, but you know, anyway, I'm not getting into it. But you get the Snake Award today, so congratulations. And he says, Paul, thank you for your willingness to take on tough, controversial topics in such a simple, straightforward way. Well, thanks, Gus. I'm trying. I really am. I'm hoping you can do that again with the USB cables between the source and the DAC. Some say that as long as the USB cable is in spec, it won't and can't affect euphonics. Others say that noise on the wire from the source and or the other causes definitely will affect sound quality due to jitter and other mechanisms. Only you can clear up this one for us. Well, I will do my best, Gus. And there's no way it's going to get cleared up, okay? And the reason is, now here's Paul the philosopher, okay? Here's the reason. Our lives and our personalities are based on a story that we tell ourselves. I ain't making this up. Your life, your story, is something that you have made up, okay? You are who you are because you tell that story to yourself, that people like me do things like this. Okay? I mean, what's my story? I like to educate. I'm the CEO of a company. I'm a father. I do, and I think I'm a nice guy and all that. But that's a narrative, a story that I tell myself. Now, can you change that story? Absolutely. You can change your story. And I know this is hard to swallow because a lot of people, I'm a loser and I can't do this and my life is shit, and you can change that story. It doesn't have to be your story. But the reason I bring it up, here's why I'm waxing philosophically for you at the moment. There are people, and we know them, I know them, whose story is basically, my world is defined by things that I can research and touch and prove, right? And I reject anything that I can't do that with, because that doesn't fit into it. I'm a scientist, so people like me don't accept words from people without certain kinds of proof. That's part of your story, right? And people like me say, I hear things, I sense things, I'm not going to automatically reject them just because I hear them and I can't look it up on Google and find out an answer to it. So that's the story I tell myself. So the whole reason I bring this up to you is because I'm not trying to change or sway the people over here who cry that this is snake oil and bullshit, right? Why would I try and change their story? What can I do? Here's what I can do. I can make my story, I can make what I know available to those who are interested in learning and hearing about it. And for those that aren't, hopefully I provide a good laugh. And that's what I'm trying to do. So have a good laugh. All right, enough waxing philosophically. Let's go on to USB cables. The Universal Serial Bus Standard is a two-way communication platform, and it's one of the reasons why USB cables are length restricted. You can't have something too long because the two-way communication will get disrupted. It's a pretty neat concept. Most USB things that just connect up, right? There's USB, what was it, A and B, the little square thing, and then the little flat thing. And they're like, depending on what type of device you're hooking up. But let's take a DAC. So our DAC is USB connected, and it'll hook up to a computer, to a server, or whatever. When you do that, let's say you connect up to a little Mac Mini or to a computer of some kind. The computer that you're connecting up to is a very noisy instrument. You can take an AM radio, or in one of my videos I showed the little AC polarity tester. You hold that anywhere near a computer and it goes bananas. So the farther away we can keep our computers from our hi-fi equipment, the better off we are. But look what we're doing. We're connecting it up with a wire, right? So when we do that, especially through USB, we can tie a lot of power supply noise, ground noise that is inside of a computer up to our DACs, and depending on how our DACs are built and isolated, that can make a hell of a difference. Now I know we have one of the best DACs in the world, the Direct Stream DAC, which is an FPGA DAC invented by Ted Smith. And that sucker, I don't care what you pay for a DAC, it's one of the best in the world. That said, and with all the trouble we've gone to isolate the USB input as best we can, I can hear differences instantly in different cables. In fact, to the extent that I've got my favorite sets of cables, and we've actually put a sort of like a regenerator between the output of the computer of its USB output into our DAC. We have a regenerated thing that is on a completely separate power supply. It is as isolated, galvanically isolated as possible to separate the computer from the DAC. And still, I hear differences in cables, and they are demonstrative. I can usually tell from just walking into the room that somebody has forgotten to put it back or to put the cables right. So yes, by all means, Gus, USB cables do make a difference, and you want to be careful about that, because you can spend a hell of a lot of money on a great DAC and a great computer setup, but if you don't pay attention to the quality of your cables, then you're going to be suffering sonic degradation that you don't need to. Quickly, now the name is escaping me. It's like, it's hard getting old. What's the name of the one from Australia? It's oh gosh, I'll try, and if I remember it, I'll put it into the video. But there are, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Is the whole point of this thing. There are some great USB cables. AudioQuest makes some great USB cables. The company I can't think of makes some great USB cables. From Australia. Google it. USB cable Australia. You'll figure it out. High-end audio. All right. Sorry for the memory lapse. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.